For most typical African children, there is not much hope. All they know is if someone is willing to take care of me, I have to work for them. You know, the day is going to break, I'm going to go to the well, I'm going to fetch water, I've got to fetch firewood, I've got to dig. It's all about work, 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 and giving and not much of receiving. If they don't develop socially, if they don't come out to live a value-based life and begin to think wider than what they are seeing, then they will not be able to develop their countries.
Shortly after my father's death, my mom, sister, and I were brought into Watoto, and I was given 6 other brothers and sisters to live with in the house, and that became my new family.
When you belong to a place like this, you feel like you're normal, I should say. You feel love, you feel you're at home, and you live a normal life.
Being a part of Watoto as a child, it's a very big advantage. Compared to those who are not in the Watoto setting.
They just brought everything all together right here. We have our own clinic, and just recently they started up a farm growing vegetables and all that. We have a school up on the hill. We have a vocational institute. When we go out to the local community, people out there look at us and they are like, you guys are really blessed, you guys are privileged, you guys have this very big opportunity, and truthfully, it is true. And when I look at it, I'm like, oh God, I think I am on your best list, because it's good.
My first 2 years out of university, I've had an opportunity to give back the skills I've acquired in university to be an art teacher in the school. So being their teacher, I had a bigger job to motivate them, to propel them forward, to build the esteem that they had lost, to keep telling them that they can make it, because they struggle to believe in themselves, especially the boys, to tell them that life ahead is better than their past. They need to see what Watoto has done and believe it and take on the leadership challenge that they have ahead of them.
There is a lot of potential in Africa that has not been tapped. But that potential needs good leadership, real good leadership. We need people that are responsible, people that are self-motivated, people that believe in their countries, people that are influencers, you know, that they are not just there for themselves, but want to pass on a legacy. And that's what Watoto has been doing with the children.
You know, Watoto has done so much for me. I don't know how to pay it. I just have to reach out to other people who are even worse off than ours. And I am sure I would feel satisfaction, because I feel I owe something to Watoto. Sometimes I sit back and I think about how my life would have been like without support and without encouragement from my sponsors, my mom, my teachers, and my pastors. Life would be so miserable. I have a feeling I would be gone. Maybe I would have been involved in drugs. I don't know, maybe I would have been impregnated and married off somewhere. And you know, as human beings, we all want a sense of belonging. We all want someone to offer a shoulder for us to lean on. So that is what everyone needs. So if you're that shoulder, just offer it to someone who needs it.
Africa is a continent of great suffering, but it's also a continent of great potential. The children you've just seen are a part of a brand new generation of young leaders being raised to transform our nation and we hope eventually the continent as it spreads all over Africa.
Watoto is far more than children's villages. In Uganda, thousands of babies are abandoned every year in hospitals, police stations, at the side of the road. And baby Watoto is our response to this great need. So these precious little ones are rescued and cared for at one of the 3 beautiful facilities we've been able to build. Here they're loved, nurtured, and nursed back to health. And when they're older and healthy enough, they graduate to a Watoto Children's Village.
In northern Uganda, over 30,000 children were stolen from their homes and forced to become child soldiers. Through Project Gulu, former child soldiers have been resettled into families. Child mothers have been empowered, and the hospital in Gulu has been refurbished. Peace and stability has returned, and Gulu has become livable again.
But children aren't the only ones suffering in Africa. The most wounded and marginalized people in Africa are her women. Millions have been abandoned and vulnerable, HIV positive, and totally without any hope. But through Living Hope, these women are empowered through skill training and income-generating projects so that they can provide for their own families.
With the need so extensive, Watoto has ventured into self-sustainability projects. A goat farm has been developed to produce milk to feed our babies. Food is grown and livestock reared on Watoto farms to supply our villages as well as to sell into the local markets. Furniture making and mechanics reduce our operating costs as well as provide a training component for some of our vocational students. Watoto is now at the place where the model can be replicated throughout Africa. In 2012, Watoto was launched into Juba, South Sudan. This will be the first of many Watoto models developed all over Africa. But Watoto is much more than a childcare organization or a Living Hope program for vulnerable women. Watoto is a church. The church is about love. It's about justice. It's about kindness. And when you live that out in community, you can transform your community. Jesus is above everything, and he is at the center of everything we do. Jesus, through the church, can change a person, he can change a community, and he can change our world. We could never do what we do without the faithful partnership of friends and sponsors just like you from all over the world. Marilyn and I want to thank you for coming alongside us in this kingdom cause. As we each do our part, children and women are being rescued, leaders are being raised, and nations are being rebuilt, all for the glory of God.